I can't hear you at all. No sound. Can you hear me? Can everyone in the chat hear me? Can somebody let me know if you can hear me in the chat? I can't hear you at all. No sound. I'm hearing myself now. Can you hear me? Can everyone in the chat hear me? Can somebody let me know if you can hear me in the chat? I can't hear you at all. No sound. I'm hearing myself now. Can you hear me? Can everyone in the chat hear me? Can somebody let me know if you can hear me in the chat? Hi guys, thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm hearing myself speak. It sounds so funny. I'm hearing myself now. Can you hear me? Can everyone in the chat hear me? Can somebody let me know if you can hear me in the chat? Hi guys, thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm hearing myself speak. It sounds so funny. I'm hearing myself now. Can you hear me? Can everyone in the chat hear me? Can somebody let me know if you can hear me in the chat? Can anyone hear me?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now. Can
It
you
was
hear
my
me?
microphone for some reason. Can you guys hear me now? I do apologize, guys. Man,
Yeah,
I
now
apologize.
they can hear us.
I'm so
Yay.
sorry.
It's part
Wow.
of being live. It happens, Shay. It happens.
Well, it's my programs. Everything's changing on here and updating because of everything's new, and it doesn't recognize this sometimes.
Well, it happens.
So, all right, guys. Oh my lord. All right, let's try this again. I'll make it brief. Again, sorry, Tammy, for all of this. Anyways, please welcome our co-host Tammy to the show, and welcome everybody. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Jay. I'm the host for From Inside Out, as you guys know, and this is our roundtable edition right here in our studios. Welcome in everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I see you guys in the chat. Uh, what an eventful week, and man, it's been busy over here with me. But with all that being said, how the heck have you been, and what's going on with you, and what do you think about this topic tonight?
I'm just telling everybody real quick. I've got a little bit of an echo. I don't know what's going on with that, but basically, it just goes to what I always say. Like, how are you going to have people that are supposed to be enforcing the law and that other people are in their safekeeping, but yet
Mm-hmm.
in their private lives and within the prison system, those very people are committing crimes just as bad as the people they're watching, or even worse, even more heinous.
Correct.
It's just absolutely disgusting. And when we go over these tonight, as you've seen them, it is very shocking.
Yeah, and well, I got to see a little bit of these articles and this information that you were sharing with me prior to this podcast, and man, this one in a sense turned my stomach. It's just I can't believe the audacity of some of these people, man. And it's just it makes, even though my opinion about DLC as a whole, it just makes DLC look worse.
It just like and then the sentences that they get, like the one for the Florida story, the sentences
Mm-hmm.
that those guys got compared to what somebody out on the street in what they call the free world, which it doesn't feel very freeing sometimes.
Right.
The free world, they get like a half of what somebody else would get.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they get a free pass? Why do they get leniency? What is it about them that they should be judged even more harshly, because they're supposed to be in a role of being someone to look up to, or someone to show the right way to be.
Right. Well, again, like I've said, and I think you've said it a couple of times too, since you've been involved with this, DOC as a whole think that they're above the law.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's not the case, even though in their minds they think they are. It's like as soon as they put that uniform on or wear that badge or anything of the such, they become this invisible, unstoppable force.
Well,
and
you
that's
know
not
what?
the case.
Rick said something to me tonight that made me really think, and we were talking, because he always asks what we're doing the shows on, and of course I tell him all about it. And so he was like, well, babe, you know that it's a power thing, it's a control thing. They have no control in their own life at home, so they come in and they do this power shift.
Mhm.
And they know that we can't fight back, or we can't say or do anything. We just have to go along with the program.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, COs are the downgrade, if you will, from actual police officers, because they either couldn't cut it or make it in the police academy or something along those lines. And then they're just a step up from being a rent-a-cop, or better known as a security guard. So there's a little bit of, different perspectives on being a CO and all that. And it comes with, like anything else, whether you're a security guard or a cop, it comes with a certain amount of responsibility. And
I think that some of them are as glorified bullies.
Oh, absolutely. That was my next
Not
point.
all. Not all, just some. I don't want to say everybody's bad. The good ones, it seems like they don't.
No, and I'm not sitting here downgrading or saying anything negatively when it comes to DOC as a whole, because like you said, Tammy, just now, and I've said it before in the past, that DOC, there are some, within DOC, I should say, there are some good CEOs. Don't get me wrong. I've come across a few of them myself personally, but there are, where there's good, there's bad.
Yeah.
And, but it seems like more lately, especially with this case, and we're going to get into it right now, guys. It seems lately that is more bad.
Yeah.
And it's very easy. And I don't know if you agree with me, Tammy, on this, and I think everybody in the chat will too as well. I think it is due to how well and easy it is. Again, I'm not saying the inmates are not as guilty either. I'm not saying it's all DOC or COs, because they work hand in hand, believe it or not. Manipulation is a major thing in there, and these inmates can really coerce these guards to go corrupt. So,
Yeah.
you
Of
know,
course.
it's easy to do. It's easy to do, guys. Real quick, before I get into the juicy details of it tonight, oops, I hit the wrong one, guys. Sorry. Texas Mom said they are supposed to be upholding the law. Yeah, but we all know with everybody here in the chat and Tammy, they never do, really, technically. So you're absolutely correct. Thank you so much for that comment. Texas Mom also said this: they should be held to a higher standard. Anything that wears the badge should. Any government entity should. But we all know, guys, that that's a little far fetched and probably wishful thinking on our end. Yeah, absolutely. So, and then of course, Texas Mom says, "Love you, Texas Mom." That was excuse me, that was Tammy. And then Texas Mom agrees. Jay, love you all too. And then more bad than good. Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Cops the same. Absolutely, they are. There's corruption in all government, not just from a DOC perspective. It is very easy to flip. Absolutely, you throw a couple Benjamins, like $1,000 or $2,000 in Benjamins, yeah, or even more. It's easy to get these guys to switch, because they just don't. Like I said, we've talked about it before, guys. They don't make enough on their income, on their check. All right, with that being said, tell me, what one do you want me to do first? The three Miami-Dade correctional officers story first, or the other one?
You can if you want. There's no real big. They're all down the same line of path. These guys actually got convicted, so that's fine. I'll
All
get
right,
that one
we'll
pulled
open up
up
with
right
this.
now.
Okay, that's fine. We'll open it up with this, ladies and gentlemen, and show you guys the data and research that we've come up with the topic tonight. So it's very fitting. Anyways, here it is, guys. I got to get my settings set up real quick. As you guys know, that's how this thing works with me over here. Anyways, there's the topic. And again, I don't know why this thing here is spinning, so I don't think I'm going to be able to play it, but I'll
I
toy
can
around with it.
read
See what
it.
happens.
It's not a big deal. It's not a very long one, so that's fine.
Okay.
So
But
this
here's the
goes.
title again. I want you guys to understand. I'm sorry, Tammy, to cut you off. Everything credit wise goes to South Florida, which I believe is a news station or news
Yeah, it's
organization.
NBC 6,
Okay.
South Florida.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tammy. And again, all credit goes to them. Go ahead and fire away, Tammy. The floor is yours.
3 Miami-Dade correctional officers get 20 years for inmate's deadly beating. Christopher Roland, Kirk Walton, and Jeremy Godbolt were 3 out of 4 officers arrested in connection to the death of a 60-year-old Ronald Ingram. And the 3 Miami-Dade correctional officers were sentenced to 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to the brutal, deadly beating of the inmate in 2022. This just happened. They were just sentenced on the 24th of October. Christopher Roland, Kirk Walton, and Jeremy Godbolt were the 3 out of the 4 arrested in connection to the death of the 60-year-old who was found dead with more than 20 broken ribs and internal bleeding. Prosecutors claim the officers were upset that Ingram threw urine at them. "I'm not guilty of murder. I'm not guilty of murder," said Walton from the inmate gallery as he tried to convince a judge not to sentence him to 20 years and urged for her to withdraw his plea deal. And then he said Walton, Godbolt, and Roland accepted the deal earlier this year in exchange for their testimony in the trial of the 4th officer, Ronald Connor. After hearing Walton, Godbolt, and Roland's testimony, all of the evidence, jurors acquitted Connor of murder and only found him guilty of negligence. Connor is a free man. How do y'all like that?
Wow.
One of them got to go free. Now
Yeah, it must be
Walton
nice.
and Roland sought to take back their plea deals. You want to file a motion to withdraw your plea now? Asked Judge Teresa Pooler to Roland. Yes, Roland responded as he surprisingly handed the judge a motion. Despite their request, Judge Pooler denied their motions. You had every opportunity in the world. Now, perhaps one of your co defendants went to trial and was found guilty of something lesser. Maybe you are reconsidering. That is not my problem, Judge Pooler said. Godbolt's family was shaken by the reality that their loved one won't be coming home until about 18 years since he was granted credit for the time he's been in jail. Know that my son would never do to intentionally harm someone or take someone's life because I knew my son, said Quinzette, Godbolt's mother. Judge Pooler added the crime was heinous and horrible. She added that if it weren't for the deals and the jury's acquittal, she would have sentenced them all to life in prison. That man died in the worst way possible by himself in pain in a prison vehicle chained up. Y'all hear that? In a prison vehicle chained up, Judge Pooler
Yeah,
said.
and if I may speak on that real quick at that very tail end of that sentence, it seems as of late that people are dying when they're chained up. Sounds like a quinky dink, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. That's how they broke Rick's hand. He was in waist shackles and ankle shackles. How is he going to defend
Yeah,
himself? Please tell me.
that's just to me that's a coward move.
Yep, always is.
Uh, yeah, and but anyways, man, that there you guys go. We're gonna go ahead and
There you
get
go.
back into
There's
this.
a picture of them, of the officers. If you go down, and the
Yeah, there it
gentleman
is.
that they killed was a white male, 60 years old.
Yeah, that's elderly abuse.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of things. It's pretty terrible.
We're going to come back into the studio and get everybody's insight on this, and then we're going to show some more data. But there you guys go. I mean, this is at the point, ladies and gentlemen, where obviously I have a big problem with this. I know Tammy has a big problem with this. This is another typical and proof in the pudding. Like I always say, that these COs think for some odd reason that they're above the law, and these
And
guys are
what
getting every.
happened that made the inmate want to throw urine on them? You know, you always hear about, well, the inmate did this or the inmate did that, like they're justifying their bad behavior. Okay, your kid throws a tantrum. If you beat them, is it right? No. You correct the behavior, you talk to them, and you try and reason with them and teach them how they need to act instead of being aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. And but again, there's that reason right there. Again, that kind of activity happens in prison, guys. And if you don't know what urine bombs or there's another name, and I'm going to be nice here, not say it, but there's other kind of bombs, not literally a bomb, but it's full of all kinds of human,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they throw this on COs. And again, the reason why that is, well, a couple reasons. One, the guy could be having a mental issue, not disclosing that at all, because most locked up loved ones have or do suffer from some type of mental condition, which causes that to happen. But what happens with the ones that are thinking straight and doing and still doing it? Well, that's because they have a problem or a beef with the CO. Now, the CO could have done something to piss off this inmate, disrespected him in some form or fashion. So that's why these urine bombs and other kinds of bombs get thrown on COs. Is because they kind of deserve it. They push these people and push these people until they just say, you know what, I'm in here. I may or may not be going home. I'm going to have my last laugh, or I'm going to have this. And again, it's wrong, but it's in there. What do you do, Tammy?
Texas mom asked, did they know why he walked? You'll have to read more into the article, but I think that the reason that that happened is because he was like watching but not participating. More than
Mhm.
likely, he was negligent in not doing anything about it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Then she
And you
goes
guys
on
are.
to say, I'm sorry, Jay.
Oh,
Texas
go
Mom
ahead, Tammy.
says,
Go
my
ahead.
husband said the CO always wait until they are cuffed and can't defend themselves and attack them because the CO knows the inmate would kick their butt. Cowards. And then
Yeah. Wow.
Bert said they tried this. They tried to say they thought I intended of resisting when they beat on him.
Yes.
Sorry you went through that, Bert. That's terrible.
Yeah, me too, bud.
I'm sorry,
But
Jay.
again,
It's sad. It's just sickening.
no, I gotcha. And this is a prime example of the obviously the massive amount of abuse from our COs, no accountability, no transparency. So the question always comes to me, and I don't, I know you guys are going to be like, this is going to be so hard to believe. But the question is, how, in a way, can we stop this from happening? I'll give you my answer, but Tammy, before I give you my answer, what would you think would be a good idea how we can curtail or stop this type of activity with these COs?
Well, for one, once they start doing it, they need to get rid of them. I mean, they need to start writing them up and doing disciplinary action, for one. Number two is they
Mhm,
need to get more training. They need to know how to deal with people that have mental health issues. They need to learn
mhm,
how what triggers what and what to do
mhm,
about not triggering people. They're
mhm,
creating inmates that go in there, especially the ones that are innocent that are in there, and they sit
mhm.
there and antagonize them to the point when they come out they do have PTSD. And
Yeah,
they need to stop that nonsense because they're creating a whole bunch of stuff that's coming back out into the community, and that's not right. They need to
correct.
be taught basic, almost like counseling skills to a degree. I mean, they need to be taught about mental health and awareness. They need
Ab-
those on the job training.
Absolutely.
They need to, you know, teach them. We
No,
need that in our state mental health hospitals, believe it or not. They treat them
absolutely.
like criminals, and they're not.
Right.
Some of them aren't.
Well,
Some of them are
and
there
that's
for
that
other
stigma.
reasons.
Correct. Excuse me. Correct, Tammy. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for that insight and answer. They treat our locked up loved ones. It's like a stigma. It's like they think because you're in there, you're no good. You don't have any value. You're a loser. You're a convict. So we shouldn't treat you with any kind of respect. That's their mindset, believe it or not. And I can't tell you definitely if they're taught that kind of activity in the academy. Yes, people, you have to go through a little bit of a DOC training course, or better known as an academy, but it's nothing like police. I mean, it's not, the course is not as long. I can't remember how long the course is, but the training is absolutely ridiculous. And when they get in there, they don't even follow their own protocols. They don't follow their own little, procedures and whatnot, guys. They just do what they do
You know
and go
why?
in, collect a paycheck, and go home. What was that?
You know why, right? Why it's like that?
I have an idea, but
Because
go ahead.
besides for the staffing shortages, one thing they could quit arresting people on nonsense charges. If they don't have definitive proof that somebody actually did something, they need to stop jumping the bandwagon and look at all options. They don't look at a crime from
Mhm,
a 360 perspective. They look at it from a
mhm.
160 perspective. They look at one person and that's it. And they
Yeah.
focus in and hone in and that's it. They don't ever look at any other possible outcomes. They don't even
Mhm.
look at the person that's making the allegations most of the time. As
Correct.
as as we're finding out in all these wrongful conviction cases. And the other problem with that is that we're running into is that we're sitting here and we are letting these people of power
Mhm.
get away with committing crimes, and they're not getting the sentencing equal to or more than the actual inmates. And I think that is a huge injustice that we're doing, because it's encouraging CEOs to take that risk of breaking the law, because they may not get what it's worth the risk to them for the monetary gain that they get.
Correct. And again, on that same note or token, if you will, again, they're only taught certain things into their little training course they take. They don't have, and you can see obviously they don't really have a lot of ways to keep things calm and collective. They like to stir the pot. I've seen CEOs deliberately start crap. I'm not going to lie to you. I've done time, so I can count on saying that. I can clarify that. I was in there. And I want you guys to know they, believe it or not, do unfortunately kind of start little things. Like it takes one small spark to start a forest fire. So
Well,
there you
they're
go. Use
mentally
that.
ill. A lot of them that get hired
Yep,
have
yep,
mental illness problems. And
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
where all that crap stems from, because who in the hell's going to want to piss off an inmate? Like, really, what normal?
Well, what good does it
Not
do?
that there's a normal, but anyway, what person with a little bit of intelligence is going to want to screw with an inmate? Like, that's
Right.
kind of stupid. They outnumber you, and that's why we have riots.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, we there to answer the question I asked earlier when you answered first, Tammy, was my point on this is, and I think it's very simple. You know, better training course. If there's a CEO that's been caught being dirty, and you know what I mean by dirty, corrupt all across the board.
Oh,
If
yeah.
there is a dirty, if there's a dirty CEO, out, you're fired, done, no coming back, and you can't get hired anywhere else. That's the other problem. Again, that's the other problem that we do with our cops even out here. Oh, you got fired from this department. Oh, okay, screw it. I'll just go over there to that department and get hired over there, and it starts the process over again. So we really never get rid of the problem. So my solution is, if you are corrupt, 100%, out. You're done. You're fired. But they don't do that, again, for the simple fact because, like my co host Tammy said, staff shortages. They'll take the risk.
Not only that, it's your upper management that's just as dirty as the ones below them. That's where it all starts. If the head honcho doesn't have their shit together and doesn't abide by the rules, why should
Yeah, welcome
anybody
in, Trey
else?
Stone.
They're going to
Yeah,
jump right on
absolutely.
that bandwagon.
All about this, guys. Trey Stone said this, and welcome in, Trey. How you doing, my friend? Thank you so much for being here. Trey said this: the show Atlantis 5th episode depicts a jail. They had a mental kid in jail playing in toilet water. Oh wow! The CEO allowed it to laugh at him, but when he spit some water on a CO, they savagely beat him. Yeah, see, they don't get taught that in the training course. They just do. That's not part of their training. That's not de-escalation. So yeah. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the chat real quick. Texas Mom said, "Welcome, Avatar." Yeah, we all know who that is. That's the boss over here. Anyways,
All right, we're good.
Texas Mom said, "How about the golden rule? Treat others the way you want to be treated." Absolutely. But again, in some hindsight, ladies and gentlemen, that don't even exist anymore. Really, to be honest with you, it's all about me, I, and screw you. Trey Stone said this: "It was fiction, but seriously, you put a finger on a CEO. Your is absolutely seen it, been there, done that, seen it. I can clarify that too as well." And then Bert said, "Hey Trey." Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into the other data. We got some more stuff that we want to show you guys here tonight. So bear with us. I try to get everybody involved. I try to make this not just my podcast, but everybody's podcast. All right. So we're going to start off with this one. Tammy, can you see it okay on your screen, or do you need me to zoom in
Yeah,
more?
I know who it is. I'm getting it pulled up right now.
All right. So again, all credit, I have to say these things verbally just for YouTube standards and whatnot. All credit, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Watch Now, a KAMC Good Morning Lubbock. That's an interesting network. But anyways, all credit
Love
goes to
it.
them. And
So
I'm sorry, Dan.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry,
Sorry.
it's time delayed. Yeah, I get time delayed over here. All right, so again, all information regarding this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is in the description and title description of this video. So go click these to view in your own leisure. Go ahead, Tammy, the floor is yours.
Yeah, and if you type this man's name in and everything, you'll get even more because there's several articles on this one because they're still going through the ramifications. Now, this is allegedly happened. Um, so, Lubbock, Texas, Herman Sanchez Jr., 41, has been arrested and accused in two separate child sex abuse cases. Oh, Fred. I'm sorry, Jay.
No, you're good.
According to court records recently obtained about everythinglubbock.com, Sanchez was arrested in the 4200 block of East Slayton Road on October 18th. Officials told Everything some of Sanchez's charges stem from delayed outcry that was made due to a new case being investigated. Court records indicate that Sanchez was accused of essaying children for years, with one case dating back from 1996 to 2002. Now, all this time, he's been a correction guard for a long, long time, guys. A victim told authorities she had been blanked and essayed by Sanchez multiple times, starting when she was just 6 years old and ending when she was 12.
Yeah, this is
In another
this is this
case,
is a tough one. This is a tough
yeah,
one.
in another case, Sanchez was accused of having blank contact with a child younger than 17 old from May 2018 to 2020. A warrant was issued for his arrest on October 22nd, 2024. Sanchez was charged with 3 counts of aggravated essay of a child and 2 counts of indecency with a child. As of
Wow.
Thursday, Sanchez remained at the Lubbock County Detention Center on bonds totaling $325,000. And he was a CO, just so y'all
Yeah,
know,
and so here's a picture,
here in
guys.
Texas.
This guy was a CEO. Again, to clarify, being that it's the topic tonight, it's a CEO for crying out loud. I mean, I'm just like, wow.
Hmm. Wait till you hear the next one. That one really turned my stomach.
Oh, I
This
know.
next
But
one's pretty
anyways,
bad.
there you guys have it, and we're gonna go ahead and hit the next one, and then we're gonna open it up for the rest of you guys on the in the panel or in the chat for the rest of the evening. But here's that other story, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. And all credit goes to, which is, I believe, TXK today. Is that it?
Yeah, it means Texarkana today, and it's a local show to that area. Texarkana is on the border of Texas and Arkansas. So there's Texarkana, Texas, and Texarkana, Arkansas. It's in
So before
northeast Texas.
Thank you, Tammy. And before Tammy even goes any further with this one, again, guys, I said it in the disclaimer, but again, viewer discretion is advised. If there's anybody under the age of 18 watching this podcast for tonight, these two stories that we're talking about are a little bit too adultish in a sense. So please, if there's kids around, tell them to go into a different room. I don't want to be responsible of that. But like I said, this is, wrong, stuff that needs to be talked about and exposed. But again, viewer discretion is advised. Tammy, go ahead.
And these are allegations of these crimes at this point. Just want to put that out there. Of these last two stories, the one in Florida, they have been convicted. Now, this one, additional charges for a couple accused of horrific child abuse and years of neglect. The gentleman on the
Mm.
left there of your screen, he was a CO, TDCJ for over 10
Imagine that.
years.
Imagine that.
Texarkana, Texas, more criminal charges have been levied against a husband and wife facing allegations that they and essayed and physically abused at least 6 younger children over a period of years. Cody Blake Barnes, 32, and his wife, Brittany Michelle Barnes, have been in Bowie County custody for more than a year. Jail records show Cody Barnes is accused of multiple children. and essaying.
SM. Just say
So,
SM.
so SM, there you go. Sorry, I don't know, so I don't know how
Right.
to.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Some his, some his biological, some were who were hers. Brittany Barnes is from a prior relationship, according to court records. According to a notice filed in the Cody Barnes case by First Assistant DA Kelly Chris, Brittany Barnes was well aware that her children were being S victimized by her husband, and rather than take steps to protect them, told them to keep silent. Cody Barnes is currently being held on bells totaling 600,000, while Brittany Barnes' bells total more than 200,000. However, bail has not been set on the new charges listed in the indictments handed up on Thursday. The couple allegedly allowed a large group of young children in their care to live in squalor in New Boston, Texas trailer that was infested with bedbugs, lice, and vermin. School officials and others who came into contact with the youth living with the Barneses repeatedly reported the physical neglect to Child Protective Services. According to a notice in the Cody Barnes case, which mentions reports dating back to at least 2016. The parental rights of the Barnes have been terminated through civil proceedings, and Bowie County court records show. And then through various pseudonyms, 8 children are listed in court records as having suffered while in the couple's custody. While their ages are not all identified, some are described in records as being ages 8 years, 6 years, 3 years, a toddler, and a baby. After the children had been removed for a months long period, they began to make outcries of SA, including that Brittany and Cody Barnes allegedly had S in front of them, according to court records. In one instance, one of the Barnes' daughters reported her dad was on top of her and she screamed, and her mom walked in and looked at him. Court records show instead of calling the police, Brittany Barnes allegedly said to Cody Barnes, allegedly, I'm saying, guys, would you like to do that with a grown up instead? The daughter reported that they left her there and went to the bedroom. Cody Barnes allegedly threatened to beat and unalive children in his care so that they would not report that he was SAing them. The children were constantly covered in bites from head to toe from bed bugs and were chronically suffering from lice infestations, according to court records. The children
Unreal.
allegedly reported that there were bugs in their beds and all of the furniture of the home. Child Protective Services staff documented the home as a disaster because of the insects, clutter, animal waste, and complete disarray, court records state. State authorities who visited the home were allegedly concerned that the youngest children were in danger because of the amount of clutter and choking hazards present. Brittany Barnes
Gosh.
allegedly told a state worker who was attempting to educate her about how to clean the home and the need to eradicate residents of insects, and that she was tired and couldn't handle the children and fight the bed bugs. There was reportedly a lack of food for the children to eat. The baby was allegedly given multiple types of formula mixed together against medical advice, and they were documented as being dressed in ill fitting clothes or in clothing that was not appropriate for weather conditions, the court records state. Child
Man,
Protective Services.
some parents should not be parents.
This is terrible. Child Protective Services allegedly removed the children from the Barnes' care on multiple occasions, but would return them back after the couple made efforts to get them back. Daycare workers reported that children were being dropped off in the same dirty clothes day after day. They also reported that the baby was brought to the daycare one morning in the same diaper she had on when she left the daycare the day before. When
Good
one of the
Lord,
girls
people.
was seen in an elementary school nurse's office so that the insect bites on her body could be treated, bugs reportedly fell from her body and clothing.
Oh my gosh, you
At
guys, this
one
turned my
point,
stomach.
I'm telling you, this one's terrible. At one point, a child care worker allegedly observed a handprint shaped bruise on the child's buttocks, and the child allegedly told them that the injury was caused by Cody Barnes. In December of 2018, the state made arrangements to pay for a pest control company to treat the Barnes home for bed bugs and lice. However, the treatment could not be applied because the couple failed to complete the steps required to prepare the house according to the notice. Cody Barnes is facing a staggering number of felony charges related to his alleged and physical abuse of children.
Uh,
One of three indictments handed up in November of 2023 lists the following counts: continuous SA abuse of a child under 14, 3 counts of aggravated SA of a child, and 3 counts of indecency with a child by contact. A second 2023 indictment lists 4 counts of indecency with a child by contact, and the third 2023 indictment lists charges of
unbelievable.
aggravated SA of a child and indecency with a child by contact. One of 2 indictments issued in August charged that Cody Barnes with aggravated SA of a child and 2 counts of indecency with a child by contact. A second indictment handed up in August lists 1 count of injury to a child. 9 new indictments were issued for Cody Barnes on Thursday by Bowie County Grand Jury. The charges list include continuous SA of a child, prohibited conduct, injury to a child with the intent to cause bodily injury and or mental impairment, and more. The most serious charges facing Cody Barnes are the counts of continuous SA abuse of a child. If convicted of those offenses, Cody Barnes faces 25 to 99 years of life, and there is no possibility of parole from any sentence imposed. A number of the aggravated SA charges and injury to a child counts are first-degree felonies, for which also include possibility of life in prison. If a jury recommends it upon finding of guilt in more than one case, the court could order that the sentences be stacked and served consecutively. Brittany Barnes was indicted for first-degree injury to a child in 2023 and faces 5 to 99 years or life in prison if convicted of that charge. Last week, a grand jury issued additional indictments charging her with multiple counts of injury to a child and child endangerment. Cody Barnes and Brittany Barnes are both scheduled for separate jury trials in December before the 202nd District Judge John Tidwell. Both remain in the Bowie County Jail, where they have been since their arrest September 20th, 2023.
Gee, Merry Christmas, guys. I'm gonna come back in the studio. This one's hurting me for some reason.
No, I told you this one ate me alive when I
Uh,
guys, all I can tell you is it's amazing to me that this man that was accused of doing all these things, if any bit of it is true, like, he worked there for 10 years. You're telling me nobody knew none of this was going on? BS.
yeah, and that's another.
I
Yeah,
call
that.
absolute 100% BS.
Yeah. And this is what makes, what we do as a whole, or prison activist or something along those lines in this field, very difficult. Very difficult. I get ridiculed all the time, hey Jay, who are you advocating for and why are you advocating for them? My answer is simple. Even with this case and how it turns my stomach, I don't want you guys to sit here and think that I condone this activity. But man, some people just don't deserve any help. Even though I say I advocate for them all, guys, seriously, even though I do, I can't be judgmental or biased, but this one is where I kind of just draw the line. I can't do these type of cases. I can't. What do you think, Tammy? Do you think I'm wrong for saying that?
No, it is absolutely, like, it's so hard for me because I'm sitting here and I'm going,
Yeah, because I'm
what
a
in
parent.
the world? How can this go on this long You can't
Mhm.
tell me nobody knew he worked where he worked and nobody called and talked to them, or CPS didn't
Mm.
call. I find it very hard to believe that with
Yeah.
these types of, just the condition of the house. Let's leave out the abuse part because, you know,
Yeah.
but that's
Mhm.
still another form of neglect and abuse.
Yeah, right. And I don't know if you can see the comment on the screen, Tammy, but it says Treystone, my friend, here said this: 75% of all SAs, which is this is accurate. I think the number actually might be a little higher, but still, the point is, thank you so much for it. Is done by those known to the victim, somebody in your house. So somebody, you know, this person is what I'm getting at. Not strangers or even residents. Yeah, absolutely. It's not the stranger danger crap or the stranger down the street that you have to worry about. It's somebody in your own home. Correct.
Yeah, or it's somebody that they're around all the time, a lot, that you're allowing access, you
Mm-hmm.
know. The thing is, here's the thing too. You'll have somebody that's being really really good, like, I don't know, I think I've mentioned this in a prior show, but when I was running daycares for this family that owned 3 daycares, uh
Mm-hmm.
we had an incident that a little girl had been being having something done to her,
Mm-hmm.
and the grandfather was accused, but it wasn't the grandfather. It ended up being the girl's actual own mother. And the grandparents had custody, and they were allowing the mom to see her because they felt sorry for their daughter and they felt sorry for their granddaughter. And the daughter was actually the one, but the little girl accused the grandpa because she felt safe. She
Mm-hmm.
just wanted the abuse to stop. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
time kids will say it's somebody that did not do it because they're scared of the real culprit, and they know by just saying that someone did it that it will stop because whoever's doing it's going to be scared. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? The
Right.
way kids look at things may not be the way we would think to look at them. And, you
Right.
know, it's sad.
And it is. And Vicky, you guys are all hitting the answers what I thought you guys would say. I'm not wrong for thinking the way I'm thinking. I will advocate. Don't get me wrong, guys. I've been doing this for 6+ years now. I will advocate for whoever I believe deserves it. Okay? But see, this is where I kind of like I have to a certain extent draw the line, but then yet, what kind of person are you, Jay, if you don't advocate for them? I get it on both sides of the fence, guys, and I'm torn,
And
because I
this
do
is,
believe in second chance.
yeah, and this is what makes me sick about false accusations. These
Mm-hmm.
vindictive, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna get a little ugly. Sorry, Jay. These
Oh, you're
vindictive
good.
ass people, they get in relationships and get mad
Mm-hmm.
and get their feelings hurt because somebody don't want to be with them anymore, or they've moved
Mm-hmm.
on with their life from a toxic relationship. This
Yeah, yeah,
narcissistic asshole of a person, whether it be male or female, wants to
happens all the time.
ruin somebody's life by lying. And then they turn around and do that, and it hits to people who really are being injured that way. They
Right.
take away and they don't care, and then they're playing manipulative mind games with their own children by doing so.
Correct.
Nasty
And that's the part.
divorces, nasty, ugly relationships that end.
Right. And look right there, Tammy, Texas mom. Look what she said.
Bitter baby mamas.
It's so true, though, isn't it? I
It
mean, nothing
is.
against moms, nothing
I've
against
seen
moms,
men
but
do it too. Just so you guys know, I
well,
have
I
seen it
know. I'm,
happen
I'm
with
just, I'm,
men,
I'm
but mostly
I'm
women
just
do it.
speaking hypothetically here that these women. No offense to you women in here. I'm not trying to be sexist or biased. I'm just saying these
No,
women
it's
have
true.
that power control over this situation and make up these claims and allegations which ruin these men's lives.
Yep, and we've seen it over and over again. We're seeing more and more convictions come back
And but
out
my
where the man was actually innocent.
and from the guy's perspective, my question for any lady, all ladies, why do you do that? Why? I want to know why.
because they got mental
because
illness, and that's how they work. If they don't, if if
yeah,
if
see, mom's going through it. Yeah, I'm sorry,
I
Texas
know
mom.
she is. We love you, girl. I'm there with you.
We're
This
here
is
for
the
you.
thing. This is the thing. They don't realize that those kids eventually grow up and become adults, and those kids,
Hmm. But it's too late then.
they're screwed up. And the person's life that they ruined, they don't want to fess up to that shit. So all the way around, you're injuring your children, you're injuring the person, which is
It's a
their whole
domino effect.
goal. Their goal is, but they don't care because people like that are mental.
It's a domino effect, Tam, and
Yeah, it is. And
it's a
then there'll
very
be
bad
more.
situation, and it's hard and very difficult to get out of.
Yeah. Nope.
Texas mom said this because they think they'll come back, but yeah, well, and again, it starts the process over again if they do. If something's toxic, if something's negative, stay away.
Yeah.
Just stay away.
I
It can't
know.
work out the first time. It ain't going to work out the second time, you know?
Yep. That's
So,
exactly
but
right.
it's so hard to it's easy to come back because, you get that feel like that. And I've been there. I feel sorry for you. Come on back. Okay, you win. And then it starts all over again.
Yeah, it's just a
So,
vicious cycle like a hamster wheel.
yeah. Searching for answers, which is Wanda. Thank you so much, Wanda, for being here. She said this. Hey,
Hi,
everyone. I hope
Wanda.
everyone's having a good night. And I'm still not feeling well, but I'll be listening. I just can't stay awake for long periods of time for some reason. Love you. Oh, hey, being in here for this amount of time that you are in here, Wanda, is better than nothing. So thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Much love and respect to you. I hope whatever is going on with you, I will send healing prayers like everybody else and let you know. So again, I'm sorry for whatever you're going through, but we are here for you. Just reach out to us. Thank you so much for Wanda for being here. And our friend Bill said this. Thank you so much for Bill for being here too as well. Face it, a lot of times they fabricate charges to escape an abusive relationship. Very true. Very true. But again, it's a cycle. Like my co-host Tammy said, it's a vicious cycle that never seems to end and it keeps repeating
Just
itself. It's like a pattern.
look up narcissism. That's all
Yeah.
you need to know. And
Mhm.
what it is a lot of times is
Mhm.
they seek out these partners they can control, and then when they get pushback from the partner and the partner leaves the relationship, they finally get enough of that
Yep.
up and down cycle.
Well, yeah. And
Narcissists do not feign well to that crap. They want
and
to go, they're out for blood at that point. You're
Well,
done.
and keep in mind, exactly. And keep in mind when I say, repeat, or it's a pattern, is because a lot of it they say to us or said to me that they don't like to be alone. So after they break up, they're like, oh, and everything calms down. Then they're like, oh crap, I hate being alone. I'm going to give my now ex boyfriend a call and see if he move back in with me. See,
Mhm.
it happens, and then
Yeah,
it's like,
no.
okay, no, I know, but it happens again, and yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So it's a vicious cycle, and that revolving door, if you will, when it comes to relationships, never stops spinning. But yeah, you guys are spot on. Thank you guys so much for being here and being part of the chat and being part of this very degrading, I would call degrading podcast for tonight. Again, some of these can be raw and pretty horrendous, if you will. But I want you guys to know that when there's any kind of case like this, we're going to break it, whether it's hard or tough to talk about. If it turns our stomach or something like that, we're going to get in here and get our hands dirty and talk about these things because, again, a lot of this stuff, obviously, DOC don't like to have these type of shows and whatnot in the public's eye because it's embarrassing. Speaking of which, I do have I guess you can say a small minor update for you guys before we get out of here. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here. Texas Mom, you're all great people. Love and respect you all. And you guys make this podcast what it is. Thank you so much for being here, guys. With that being said, a small little update for you guys and let you know that my sister Jay Lee, who is currently still locked up in a prison, Washington State, where we're originally from. That's my home state, by the way. Um, is got some good news, and it's going to change. It's going to change the whole entire perspective when it comes to me, my family, and this podcast and everything. So I'll keep you guys updated, but it's good news. If you guys have been paying attention as of late, She ended up getting an allegation put on her in her prison where she's currently doing time, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a heinous one. But I don't know if I should speak on it yet because, again, it's not settled. But as soon as I get the green light to, get more detailed, I will do that right here on this channel. But it's in the talking stages of the lawsuit or talking settlement stages of the lawsuit. What's that mean? If you got questions, well, simple. They're wanting to know where you stand number wise. So the state's already come to her attorney and her and said, "Hey, where do you stand in this number wise?" So we can go ahead and take care of that part. So it's getting close, getting crunch time. I say 2 months, and our lives are going to change. And it's going to be for the better. And I'm going to let you guys all know that she plans on obviously sharing her winnings, with the family, which is typical what you normally would do, right? So things are going to be very, very epic and different and changing for us in the family. So I'll keep you guys updated. So it's looking
Oh,
good.
that's
It's state,
wonderful. I'm glad.
it's
Not
state
that
and
that takes
federal.
the trauma away, but
It doesn't heal nothing. It still made her mentally more damaged. But yeah, absolutely, Wanda. Thank you so much for being here. But it's going to change perspective on everything. I do know that it's going to open a door for a lot of things. It might even open the door for some of you in the chat or some of you on panel. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But it's going to be huge. It's over six figures. That's all I can say. Plus.
that's wonderful. That's
But there's
wonderful.
two different ones, state level and Fed level. So state's ready to go, it sounds like, with my impression on it, but Feds haven't said anything yet. So there's two, but it's turning out really well, and I'm looking forward to it. So absolutely. So I'll keep you guys updated. That's the good news, and sometimes I do get good news, and I got to share it with you guys. That was per request for Jaylee.
Well, tell her
Tammy?
we think that's great. Let
Yeah,
Jaylee
absolutely.
know we're all rooting for her. We're rooting for her to have some great healing, and we're still in hopes that some other things will come to pass as we watch this Menendez case and how that will
Yep.
affect her as well.
That's another one that that's another one, Tammy, that we're gonna
It's just
break right here on two.
money you can fight.
Yeah.
Money helps you fight. And
Yeah.
I definitely know about that side of the fence.
Good night,
So,
Vicky, and prayers to you, Vicky, for your comment, which I put back on the screen here. You see that you're going through some kind of health issues or some tests. I hope it's good news and not bad news. Please keep us updated through email and whatnot, just not here on the lives. But again, healing prayers coming your way, Vicky. Much love and respect for you, and have a good night.
yes,
And
definitely.
thanks, Tammy Love. Wanda said, "Thanks, Tammy Love." And then, of course, good night to all of you, Tammy said. And then, of course, I pray things go in her favor. Absolutely, it already is looking in her favor. This is big. It's a rare case. It's a first type of case, guys, in Washington State that is there. You can't look back or compare it to anything. That's how rare and how big this is. And the attorney that's taken on this case, guys, for her is retiring after this case. Pretty epic. Pretty dang epic. Again, Bert said, so you have patched it up with her? Yeah, for the most part, we're working on trying to rekindle things, my friend. So yes, absolutely. And hopefully it works out this time. We don't got any other influences now. We took out the trash, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to give her another chance. Truth of Pam said, or excuse me, my bad. Where did it go? I must have missed it. Night Destiny. Okay, thank you. Trey Stone said night. Night Trey, take care. Thank you so much. I did get your email too, by the way. Thank you for sending that. Bert said good night, Destiny. And then Destiny, I love you too. And then I got Destiny say night. All right, night everybody. And Tammy, what's your closing arguments for now?
Just guys, let's start pushing for them to get some legislative reform. Maybe they need to do like federal government where they do yearly annual checks, background checks on employees that they already have. That's where they go and they actually talk to neighbors. They actually look at their
Mhm.
finances. They look at everything. They do a complete audit of federal employees yearly.
Thank you, Texas Mom.
Border
Yeah.
Patrol and things like that, they look at them once a year. I think we
Mhm.
need to go to that with our state employees that are in positions like this, positions of power in county and local. I think we need to
Yeah.
start doing these audits on them. If they're
Yeah.
short staffed,
Absolutely.
it shouldn't be too many to have to do, right? I mean, let's hear the bullshit on that one.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
ready.
absolutely, Tammy. You know, absolutely, you hit that on the nail because again, with that new law that just passed, what was it in July? We did a show on it where we're
Yeah.
going to get some independent people now to go in and do these audits and whatnot. So I can't wait.
We need to
Yeah,
have that on the state levels.
yeah. Jamie's in here. Hi, Jamie. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. She's over there from X, and she said this: "Is there anything I can talk with legislators about? I am willing." Okay, there you go, Tammy. There's some input for you.
Okay, well, Jamie, write us on From Inside Out, and
Yeah,
I'll send you whatever letter templates you want, and I'd
yeah,
be happy to
absolutely.
have that fight. Somebody in that fight.
So let me get the comment back up here before we head out of here. Jamie, if you can hear me, let me know. And then I'll say this, email this. And that matters of fact, what I'm going to do, I think you already have my email, but for shits and giggles, I'm going to go ahead and put it up right here. There it is. There's my email, voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Get a hold of me and let's collab and let's go through me and you and Tammy and let's figure out what we can do on that. All right. So there you go with that. Again, my email to contact us, guys, is voicesfrominsideout@gmail.com. Again, my website's in the description. My email's in the description. There's multiple ways to get a hold of me. Please do. But there it is, guys. And let us know if you have any comments, questions, concerns, and all of that. And we'll go from there. Again, Jamie, thank you so much for being here. And I hope we can work together and get some of your insight, Tammy's insight, all of our insight. It all matters because this is the year of truth, as you guys know, and things are now changing, I hope, for the better. But Tammy, with that being said, thank you so much. It's an honor and privilege for you to be here. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come up on the show.
Well, I'm happy to be here and in this fight with all of you, this family that
Yes,
we have here. We're
yes,
gonna keep fighting
absolutely.
until something changes.
Yep,
One
we
of
got
the
to lace up our we got to lace up our boots, ladies and gentlemen, because we can't get nothing doing sitting on our butts.
That's right.
It is
Thank
what it
you
is.
all.
Time to get our hands dirty. But anyways, guys, we'll see you Friday right here in our studios from Inside Out. And coming up on Men's Night, we have a pretty interesting show, and I don't want you guys to miss that. And then, of course, then we got next Wednesday and whatnot. But if you have a show idea or some whatever else you want to talk about, let us know, and we'll put it up here on the show. And if you want to come up on panel, please do. I always put the link in there in the chat so you guys can join. All right. Well, Tammy, good night. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, good night. We'll see you all Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got some comments coming in. Trey, so make prisoners make prisoner fair again. Make prison fair again. I like that. I can see a T-shirt with that. Thank you, Trey. Interesting. Jamie said this. PM me your and Tammy's info. I will do the best I can. Right on. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you. And then Texas Mom said, preach. Absolutely. Friday night, man's night with Tammy and Jay. I like how she's come up with all these hashtags. That's awesome. You are very creative. You should
She's
try to
our
get more involved in the
marketing
podcast.
specialist there.
Yeah, you can be my marketer, or you can do something and help this podcast more. Do something. I'll find something for you to do. Nonetheless. All right. Thank you, Texas Mom. All right. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bounce out of here. Everybody, thank you guys so much for being here, and we'll see you Friday night. Thank you, guys. Take care. Peace.